Hi everybody, this is Dana. You know, Neil and I have traveled all over the United States and across internationally too. And one of the things that we find often is people saying, you know what, she's just a born leader and I just don't know if I could lead like that. And we hear a lot of that self-deprecating talk, and I'm just here to tell you that no one is born a leader. That is old thinking that has been disproven, and I'm just so glad to be able to tell you that today. Nobody comes out of the womb going, I'm going to lead, I'm going to lead, I'm going to. No, they don't. It has to be learned. Leadership has to be learned. And you know, it's interesting, don't just take my word for it. But prior to John Maxwell, prior to Jim Kouzes, prior to a lot of the leadership experts that you know, back in before the 70s, a lot of people thought it was a birthright, that you were born a leader, you were born a Roosevelt, or you were born a Churchill, or you were born a Kennedy, and it left out a lot of people. In fact, it left out people of color, and it left out women. And along came a guy in the early 70s named John Adair. He was from Great Britain, and he had a theory, and he started to prove this theory that leadership can be learned. And so when you think about it, it's exciting to me because it means that from the very beginning, from the time that I have a baby, from the time that I was a child, I could learn to be a better leader. And even if I never had any of that help, from today on, I can learn to be a better leader. Well, he centered on three things, and in the next few blogs I'm going to be talking a lot about them. He said leaders, it's action centered, so it's actively, first of all, working on yourself, taking your lids off, improving your skills, improving yourself, watching your attitude, and I'm going to talk about that a lot. The second piece is it's actively building and working with your team, anybody who follows you. And so some of you are saying, well, I don't have a team yet, Dana. That's okay. You're going to get a team. And if you interact with customers, they're your team. If you have a family, they're your team. If you have friends, they're your team. And so you can learn all of these leadership skills in very practical settings. And finally, it's about working at the task, whatever it is that you want to lead. And of course, Neil and I talk a lot about direct sales. And so all the coaches here at Team Connections are very devoted to developing your leadership skills in direct sales. Doesn't mean that these lessons aren't applicable in other places. In fact, we hear that all the time. So the message for today is, you don't have to be a born leader. Nobody is born a leader.